Welcome to another interesting episode of the Reflection series where we listen to stories that recharge and rejuvenate us. And we have a very wonderful speaker today, all the way from Argentina, Moira Lowe. Moira has been practicing meditation with the Brahma Kumaris since 1986 and is currently the director of the Brahma Kumaris in Argentina. She travels around the world running various seminars to bring change in individuals and organizations in various fields. Moira is very cheerful and light and lives by the deep conviction that life is a wonderful game that we play. And the title of the story that she's going to share with us today is Facing Opposition. And as she shares, being stable in the face of opposition is about deep understanding of the reason behind all of it. And when we take responsibility with full acceptance, we are able to set ourselves free from feeling that we are a victim or taking sorrow or pain. And we move forward, creating a deep sense of self-respect. Such a beautiful thing. So, without any further ado, a very hearty welcome to the program, Sister Moira, and it's over to you to share your story and your wisdom.
So many thanks. Many years ago on my spiritual journey, I had to face a lot of opposition. And I was on a trip to India when I came to know that back in Argentina, a group of people were very discontent with me, and they sent a letter of complaint and accusation to our seniors and in the Brahma Kumaris. And so the request was that I should leave my responsibility as the coordinator of the organization's activities in Argentina. And there were all sorts of complaints. And so I was surprised. I was at the end of my time in India, that trip, returning to Argentina, when I came to know that this complaint had arrived. So I went to visit three very senior people within the organization. And so I told them, I heard that you have received this complaint about me. And the first lesson that I learned from them was how they handled this. First of all, they made me feel comfortable. One of them said, I'll be back to my country in South America in a week, and I'll come to Argentina and help you to deal with this. Another very senior teacher told me, yes, we have received a letter of complaint, but we have full trust in you. Then I went to meet the most senior teacher in the Brahma Kumaris those days, and she said, life is a school, everything is just a test, sit for that test and come back, as if nothing would have happened. And then I went to see another senior to do with accounting, and so I said that we had some problem, and so he said, he said, this organization is based on faith, and we have full faith in you. So with their blessings, I traveled back, and when I arrived, there was a very dense atmosphere. People were, coming together, speaking against me here, there. A lot was being said, a lot was happening. When you face energy that is against you, it's a strong energy. But what I felt is that I didn't have to react, that I had to listen. I had to know more of what was going on, especially what the real need was. So a few days later, so I came to know a little bit of what was going on. And a few days later, I received a phone call saying, okay, how would you like to handle all this? So I said, well, the first thing that I understand is that there is a need, people have the need to be heard and seen. And so I said, I suggest that we give a chance to each one of the organizers of this situation to meet the senior coming to Argentina, meet you personally, and allow them to express their heart and listen to them. Know what is the difficulty, know what is their personal need and spiritual need. So in a few days, we received this visit, and I said there's also a need for people to speak openly. So there was a need for an open forum in which everybody could say, and anybody could say whatever they felt about me. And so he said, are you sure you're going to be able to face it? And I said, yes. But I asked him for something. I said, please don't represent me, because I've paved my life with actions and I'll stand up for myself. So I went into this meeting also with the trust that God would protect me and my feelings. And I walked into a room full of people where people openly spoke whatever was in their hearts. So we heard everyone who wanted to say something. And I had a very interesting experience. You know, the three seniors I had met on the mountaintop in India, their eyes were present in front of me. It's as if they had become, in a subtle form, like an angelic form, they had become like a filter through which I could see the scene where I was sitting in, but I could see it through the protection of the purity of their pure intention to help me. So it was a very rare thing, but I could see it. I could see things through their eyes. And so I listened to everything. I listened to many things. I listened to complaints that were real. I listened to people's frustration, their own projection on me. I listened to all sorts of things. And there came a time when I felt safe. And this is quite key to what I'm going to tell you. When I felt safe enough to be able to respond, I said, okay, now I would like to speak. So I apologized to those whom I had hurt through bossiness, through, rough, harsh ways or whatever. So I acknowledged those who had a real complaint about me. And I said, I'm sorry. And then I also said, I will take responsibility for whatever I have heard that I am truly responsible for. Things that I could change, things that I could improve, things that I could do better, things that I could stop doing. But I can only take responsibility for what is real. I can't take responsibility for what is projected on me out of, each one's own process or frustrations of their own stuff, their own life. So I did that. And then the meeting continued. And what I learned from all this was that when we listen, and people feel heard, whatever they've been holding in their hearts, if they're able to speak it out, that's half of the problem solved. Then what I do with that is the other half. And after the meeting, there was a very tense atmosphere. We had a strategy. We created a core team that we would do things more in a team-like way rather than me being like a one person deciding all things. which was very interesting for me as a new process. I wouldn't be alone doing things. But I told myself, don't take the law into your hands. And what I mean by that, this is something we learn in the Brahma Kumaris, because when you're in a position of authority, in a team, in a family, in whatever situation, you could be taking decisions that affect people's lives. I could have, for example, ostracized someone or sidelined someone, as from what I heard. But I told myself, don't take the law into your hands. What I meant to myself was be fair in terms of, giving people opportunities to serve, to do, to grow, whatever was in my hands. I should be fair. And I made it a point for quite a while, a long way after this incident, this situation, which was then, it all ended up, dissolving, things changed, I made a lot of changes which were necessary. But I realized that if someone makes a mistake and accuses you or speaks very wrong things about you, there is, when I say there's a reason behind all things. You don't need to take the law into your hands and take revenge or react or ignore or avoid anyone or even punish in any way, because it will be sorted out naturally. And for some people who did try to cause a lot of damage, I could see how their lives played out and how somehow they had to take responsibility for their own mistakes. I took responsibility for things that I could improve, that I could change. And what I learned, because just soon after all this happened, although I was very strong and stable during the meeting and even after the meeting, sometime later, I started thinking about the things that I had heard. And somehow I let that into my heart. And then I felt hurt. But what I learned further was that now the pain that I was feeling in my heart was not about the things that people had said about me, but the fact that I had reflected on that I had been pondering on the things that were said. And so a big, big lesson in terms of facing opposition or even difficulty or challenges is we can listen to things, we can see things, we can face things, but as long as I don't take that into my heart. Let's say someone insults you in a fair way or an unfair way. If I don't take it into my heart, that is, into my thinking, into my mind, I won't create the feeling of being insulted. Therefore, in order to respond to challenges, to opposition, rather than reacting to it, I need to protect my inner world. And I have the freedom to choose if I accept what is being said, because when I accepted, things that have been said for which I had to apologize, fair enough. When I accepted things that I had to take responsibility for, fair enough. But when I heard things that were not fair, that were not true, if I don't take that into my heart, I won't create the feeling that I've been in any way abused or victimized or even insulted. Because someone may be saying something that may be provoking you. In Argentina, in Spanish, we have a saying that if I don't buy it into myself, if I don't take it, that is, if I'm hearing that and that is being said, it is happening, but it's not happening to me. It's only happening. So if I'm able, let's say something is very insulting or rude, I don't need to think about it. And if I don't think about it, I won't feel that. Therefore, I will be able to stay that could victimize me or even hurt me. So, in order to responding could be I don't say anything, I maybe remain silent, or I may say something that is necessary, which I did, or maybe I just, remain quiet and stay in my self respect, stay in that sense of worthiness, of my own self value, in which it doesn't matter what is being said or done, it doesn't affect me, it doesn't hurt me. And this is like being detached. And detached doesn't mean that I'm, ignoring, indifferent. It just means that I'm able to stay in in contact with my core being without being affected by anything external. And sometimes not being affected, as I did take responsibility and I even apologized, which means I did acknowledge what was being said. But I further learned you can acknowledge, you can listen, but you need to protect yourself. And the protection doesn't come from people, not saying things or things not happening. It will always come from my pure thoughts, my pure feelings, and the elevated vision that I hold for myself. That for which I also need to practice, practice being in contact with my deep values, being in contact with my own um, self-worth and valuing my part, understanding the importance of my presence, of my doing, and, the gift we are. Each one of us is a gift to the world when we express that beautiful potential that we hold within, that is always there, even when I'm not feeling so good, it's always there waiting to be expressed. But I do need to become an observer of my inner world and see the difference. And maybe we make mistakes through our weaknesses, but we need to focus on our strengths, on our essence, on our core being, to be able to keep a high uh, feeling of who I truly am. So meditation has helped me a lot uh, to be able to keep track of myself. And I have also taken help of the Supreme Being, of higher energy, of divine energy, to heal the wounds I was not able to protect myself from, and allowed that into my heart. So the cleansing, the healing requires that divine intervention when we connect with a higher source and allow the flow of that energy to, to nourish my deep need. So this is my story, and I know we all go through some hardship in relationships. Sometimes we have a credit, but sometimes we just have to face opposition or criticism or someone not valuing your work, whatever it is. So I hope it's useful for you.
Yes, absolutely. It's such a incredible, courageous story, actually. If you see, if you kind of visualize the situation, it's like it feels you're on a battlefield with, the army in front of you, and you have to save yourself and protect yourself. A very beautiful thing that you shared was that when you went to speak to the seniors, the trust and faith that they showed in you. They were very uh, assured of the qualities you had more than what you thought. And that was quite reassuring for you to prepare. How about uh, if we say there is no one whom we can reach out to, for example?
Deep gratitude for um, for their support. But in case I don't have the help that I had in that situation, I think we can always count on God. We can always count. First of all, we can help ourselves by sometimes situations may be so challenging that you feel uh, you feel a little bit unable to resolve. We can always say, for example, if it's a very difficult conversation, you can always say, can we continue this conversation later? Can we talk about this tomorrow? So in this way, you give yourself time and space to get your act together, to come back to your own, your own self-respect, that you can say, okay, let me think about it and then I'll respond. Even if you're challenged, through WhatsApp, people want a response right now and they're challenging you and you feel you have to. There's nothing like you have to feel obliged to say what you don't feel is right or what you don't feel will bring the benefit that you would like to see. So I think we all have a right to our own pace, our own timing. And sometimes the person on the other side may feel that you're weak, you don't have an answer, and you can say, let me think about it. I'll come back to you. And in that space, if you go into deep silence, if you ask yourself questions, maybe you recognize that something is not right, then you can come back with a response from there. Maybe you feel that you have a right to say something that needs to be said, which maybe the other party won't like it, but then you can find the way of saying the things without hesitating and with respect, not as a reaction, but something that you feel confident and you feel it's, the right time to say it. And maybe you can't bring someone into a conversation, but maybe if you take some time, you can take some help from someone. You could consult, I don't know if it's at work, you could consult your boss or someone who can, advise you. You can consult a therapist if it's something you're not so sure about. And you can always sit and meditate. And that would also definitely help you because meditation is, thinking about what is really necessary for you to understand. And understanding sometimes things don't even require a response. You're just, you're hurt by something. But then take responsibility because there is a law that, as is the seed, so is the fruit. So I like to tell myself, okay, if this is happening to me, there must be a reason. I must have made some equal mistake in the past, and I'm only seeing. To learn on my journey. And I'm there.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Moira. There are so many situations that we face, and these are pearls of wisdom that if we keep in mind, that really help us come out of that tough situation. And sometimes there's no one around. So thank you so much for sharing that with us today. And as you said, been meditating and meditation helps a lot. Would you be able to share a little glimpse of that with our viewers so they also get some experience? If you could lead us through a commentary, please.
Sure, sure. Well, meditation just requires me to be present and to look inward. So I would invite you to take a deep breath, and as we take our attention inward, we exhale, we feel that the body is relaxed. Make sure your body is comfortable and relaxed. So take a deep breath. And as you exhale, let go any tension, any discomfort, anything that you would like to let go. Just relax and let it go. And now take your interest and your attention inward to a sacred space behind your eyes, and feel your own presence. I am there being. That spiritual energy, a conscious being, the one who is the traveler throughout time, the one who has faced so many challenges, who has overcome so many difficulties. And I am here now in the present, having learned from so many situations, interactions, so many different scenes in my life. And I am a traveler, that conscious energy that is always being expressed to my thoughts, my feelings, my attitudes, my words, and everything I do. That's me, the soul, constantly expressing myself. And I become fully aware that everything starts in my mind. If I hold any grudges or ill feelings from the past, I can transform, create a beautiful thought. I am like a free bird with the wings of my thoughts. I can go beyond the situation, beyond the words, everything I've seen, heard. I can go deep within myself, into a space of pure calm, quiet, peaceful energy. And I can feel the real me. I am a peaceful being, a being of light, a loving being, a powerful being. Let me go deep into this feeling, into silence, and let me go beyond even my body and everything around me, in a space of pure light. my original home, where I, the spiritual being, come from, the world of silence, of peace, presence of the divine, the source, of unconditional love, of infinite peace. And my heart opens to allow the light, the healing light of love to fill every corner of the soul. As I feel accepted as I am, as I feel loved by the One Supreme. I take a deep breath. I bring my attention with a deep feeling of trust and the joy of who I truly am, of my own self-worth. And as I exhale, I allow that peace to expand all around me. Om Shanti. Om means I am. Shanti means peace.
Thank you so very much. It's really recharging, rejuvenating the experience. So, and thank you once again for sharing your story with us. It's been a pleasure to be on this program. And I would also like to thank the viewers for joining in. And if you would like to know more, please visit the website www.brahmakumaris.org.in. All the details of our centers and retreat centers and all the programs that are conducted is all available. So thank you once again, and all the
Thank
very
you.
thank you.
Thank you.